Eagles Entertainment.
Welcome, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. It's our Tailgate Edition, and I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro on this Friday from the NovaCare Complex as the Eagles getting ready to go across the state of Pennsylvania to play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox. Steelers are 3-0, coming off a COVID-19 imposed bye week, which they are not too happy about, but they are healthy coming into this game. Not the same story for the Eagles. We've got a great podcast for you today. We're going to hear from a fan who lives in the heart of the Dallas Cowboys fan base in Texas, but still makes it known, very well known, that he's the biggest Eagles fan going down there. We're also going to speak with Shannon Spake, the sideline reporter for Fox this week, to take us inside the broadcast. It's certainly different because, of course, COVID, in person. She would normally be on the sidelines. Instead, she's in the stands. Quite a remarkable woman who takes us inside the broadcast team of Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Shannon for Sunday's game. Let's begin with our normal Friday one-on-one with Carson Wentz, who's all smiles. This is a funny interview. And yes, it does include a reference to what everybody's talking about, The Fly. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly one-on-one with quarterback Carson Wentz, presented by NovaCare Rehabilitation. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Carson, just checking your look there. Make sure there's no flies anywhere.
I think we're good.
You're good.
Probably blend in with the hat. A little different than gray hair, but we're doing good.
Yeah, so you watched the vice presidential debate. You noticed the fly.
Yeah.
It was crazy, right?
I definitely did. I had to check with my wife. I said, is that on our TV or is that on his hair? I'm pretty sure it's on his hair. But it's pretty good humor there.
Yeah, it really was. Hey, let's start with something controversial. I've tried to keep it very positive with you. I got to go to a different direction here. On Wednesday, you determined that your celebrations after a touchdown were, and I quote you, lame. Let's go into this, Carson. Expand on that thought. Why are these celebrations so lame?
I'm too excited. I mean, I don't score enough on the ground, so I think I don't really know what to do. I don't have a plan of attack, and I tried to throw the ball in the air, and it slipped and went straight forward. I tried to spike the ball last year on Sunday Night Football. I fell over. I'm too amped up. I don't know what to do, and I got to definitely take some notes from some of these other guys.
You got to act like you've been there before, man. you have been. Jeez. Hey, Carson, listen, you have the NRG commercials. The guy's busting a move. He didn't show you anything that you might take into a post-score celebration?
Just not my style. I've danced twice, and it was at my brother's wedding and at my own wedding. That's about as much dancing as I'll do. So.
How would you describe yourself as a dancer?
Interesting.
Another area to discuss. It must have been fun watching you in the film room as everybody was grading you out on your blocking skills. How did you grade out on that based on the game in San Francisco?
I was told to be smart. That's all I was told, to be smart. For me, I never know when the ball's coming my way, and I'm going to do everything I can for this team and have some fun out there with it. And the DB was cool. That was one of my favorite plays from the game, I'll say that.
You certainly don't mind mixing it up, do you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Quarterbacks are supposed to be pretty boys, Carson. You're not supposed to mix it up out there.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I get a little flack for that, but that's just how I'm wired. That's how I was ever since I was a kid, playing football as a youngster.
Has Jeff Stoutland approached Press Taylor and asked you if there's any chance you can help out on the front?
Nothing yet, and hopefully that never happens. But I love doing what I can to help this team, and sometimes it's fun to change the scenery out there and go do something different.
It does speak to your physical nature, Carson. How did you develop such a physical nature as an athlete?
Yeah, I just think back to when I was a kid, playing football. When I first started playing tackle football, I was a running back and a linebacker. And I was just always, my dad was a linebacker when he played college football, and he just always taught me to hit and just be physical and be physical and be physical. I was just kind of ingrained in my head. And that carried on in high school, even in college when I ran the ball and those things. And had to kind of learn to protect myself and be smart now that I'm at this level.
Carson, you have run the football very successfully throughout your career, but certainly in these 4 games. Do you expect defenses to come after you with a little bit of a package now that they've seen it on film?
I don't think so. You never really know what defenses want to do, but I think it's just I mean, if you watch the tape, it's not something that we're looking for. It's not something that there's a couple design plays here and there that's part of the game every week, but a lot of it's just, pocket breaking down or good coverage and just trying to extend the play and make things happen. So, I don't know if defenses will plan for that or not, but either way, we'll be ready for it.
The touchdown run against San Fran, design play though, correct?
Yep, that was just a true zone read, and reading the D end and made the right choice on that one.
So what do you think when you see open field, defensive backs there? Do you decide, hey, I'm going to do a Alex Singleton and lower my shoulder, or am I going to make a move here and break an ankle?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts just about protecting myself and try and make guys miss so that even if it's even if I do get tackled, it's not a big collision or nothing nothing too crazy.
The quarterback sneak, Carson, there is a lot involved in the quarterback sneak. I'm not sure fans really appreciate how involved it is. Can you kind of take us through why it works so well for you and for the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, I think it works well because our center, because Kelsey he explodes off the ball better than anybody and creates a really good push. And then the guards, no matter who it is every week, they all just get a good push. And for me, I'm just driving my legs. So it's I know it looks like a pretty boring, 1 yard gain, half a yard gain. Sometimes we get 2 yards out of it, but there's definitely some scheme involved in it.
Carson, the last 2 games here, a tie and a win, first place in the NFC East. What has that done for the mood of the football team? Yeah,
I think it puts us in a good position, but I think overall our preparation hasn't really changed. I think we've been excited every week to go out and get a chance to compete. Obviously we didn't start the way we wanted to. Still not the record we were hoping for at this point, but obviously it puts us in a good position going forward. Still kind of crazy to think we're at the top of our division after the slow start we had, but here we are nonetheless, and our plan is to just keep this thing rolling.
The Pittsburgh Steelers like to bring a lot of pressure. How do you defeat it?
You play fast. You got to play fast and you got to execute. Whether that's guys getting open early, we got to be sharp on our protection calls and making sure we're communicating well and be able to run the ball. Every week we got to be able to run the ball even against a really good front like they are, and we got our work cut out. But we're excited for the matchup. Carson, what do the Steelers show you? What kind of stuff do they bring to the table? I mean, you just touched on it. They bring a lot of pressure. Whether they're bringing 4 guys or 5, they just have a really good ability of getting to the quarterback and then also making the run game really hard. So their front is really talented. They fly around on the back end. I feel like I say it every week, but they're coached well. They play fast. They fly around. They're very opportunistic as a defense. You got to be smart with the football. But there's definitely some things we can take advantage of, and we're excited to show what we can do. There will be fans in the stands on Sunday at Heinz Field. What will that do for the atmosphere for you guys on the field? Yeah, I think it'll help for sure. I know it's been weird having no fans. I know it'll still be very weird playing with whatever 5,000 or whatever the number is that are allowed to be there. So I know that'll still be strange, but it might feel like high school games or some of the college games I played at, some of these stadiums where there's not many fans. So it'll still feel a little bit strange, but I think it's exciting just for football to know that hey, some guys' family might be their friends, and fans will be there. Carson, keep up the good work. Good luck on Sunday against Pittsburgh. Our weekly one-on-one with quarterback Carson Wentz, presented by NovaCare Rehabilitation. Thanks, Carson. Thank you, Dave. Something we like to include in the podcast on the weekends, we mic up a player, we edit it down, player from the course of the game, and a lot of fun here. We call it Audible for your listening enjoyment.
Tails never fails. Tails never fails.
It is heads. San Francisco deferred.
Are we good right here? Right here, we good, we good.
Oh, yeah, 6'9".
What up, Trent? Good luck out there, man. Third down. Y'all know what time it is now, don't it? Them dogs loose. Hey, them dogs loose, Trent. You better warn them, Trent. 30 low. Woo. Fourth down. I think I got him scared too already. He's scared already. First down. There you go, G. There you go, G. There you go, G. There you go, G. Good, G. Give it to him.
7-1. Don't think I ain't gonna come get you. I'm coming to get you. Oh yeah, 7-5. I see you on film, boy. Don't worry, folks. I'm coming. 2-8. You too slow for me, man. You good, dog?
He ain't blowing hot there, I promise you. Now he gonna do it the whole game.
Down here with you.
Hey, next play. All right, gotta get 3 and out. 3 and out right here, all right? Hey.
Look me in my face.
Hey!
Yeah,
Next play,
I
let's
know,
go.
I know, I got you. You know I'm with you, Flex.
All right. Hey! Oh, it's our ball! Huh? Hey! Let's go! Run, booby, run! You want to win that booby spin? Fool, just slide. Oh! 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 Oh, yes, sir! There you go, Lamb. Put on the pedal. Put on the pedal, all right? Put on the pedal. They thought this was soft. They thought this was sweet, huh? They thought they was getting apples. You know, we about to give them a basket full of lemons. It's a pass. It's a run. Hey, we got to stop the bull, earn our rushes, all right? They throwing everything they got at us right now. We just got to stay calm, run to the football. We're going to be all right. Stay calm, run to the football. Oh, that's 6. That's 6. No, hold it. Hold it. I'm gonna call Madden, bro. Nah, I'm gonna call Madden, bro. What? I gotta get your speed down to like a 75, bro.
Cuz was right there, I cut back on him.
Come on, cuz.
What you mean?
The old ride with the crib that big. Yo, his speed like 74 right now. That was a big stop by us right there. That turnover, that was big, bro. Come on, D. Hold him. Hey, Ben, don't break. Go for it, Doug. 4th down, 4th down. Here you go, Wade. First down. First down. Move the chains. Move the chains. Oh, touchdown! Oh, touchdown! 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 Oh my God! Yeah. What a play! Ladies and gentlemen, what a play! Do it right to him. Do it right to him.
Let's go.
And you just called it. You just called it.
I told you.
Appreciate you, brother. You saved him. You saved him, 6'3". Ball! He getting the ball, y'all, on the sneak, all right? The ball gotta go back some, right?
Don't touch it.
Oh, come on! He can't block me one-on-one. Y'all better get us some help. They can't block us. They can't block us. Y'all finna lose, man. Y'all might wanna go home, go to the club tonight. Hey, Trent, what club y'all going to? Trent, what club y'all going? Hey, what club y'all going to?
In case you missed it, this past week, the Eagles joined nonprofit Bringing Hope Home to host a virtual Cooking with the Birds event for families with a member currently battling cancer. Eagles players Boston Scott and Jordan Mailata joined Chef Nicole Finelli of Flick Hospitality in preparing a simple recipe while they talked about the health benefits of the food they were cooking and the importance of wellness while undergoing cancer treatment. This community spotlight is fueled by Campbell's Chunky Soup, proud partner of your Philadelphia Eagles. All right, Shannon Spake is usually on the sidelines in the mix, bringing you the different perspective on football games broadcast on Fox. This season, of course, everything is different, and Shannon shared some time with me to share her story. All right, Shannon, interesting. I'm a sideline reporter for the Eagles preseason, and I missed it tremendously this preseason. How has this whole COVID changed the way you do your job?
It's different, obviously, not being on the field and having to do it from the first row and walking around and kind of navigating that whole thing with the masks on and just there's a lot of other things that you have to do besides just getting down there and watching football. But I do think in some ways it's kind of opened things up a little bit. I can hear what the coaches are saying on the benches. I mean, there's a lot of times where you're like listening in and you're like, I think I know what they said. And there's a lot more of that. And I also think, the Zooms, we're meeting, we're talking face to face with all of these players. I mean, not as intimate as we're obviously before going into conference rooms and stuff. But we're talking to the away team, we're talking to the home team. And I do think it's sort of something that we're all kind of bonding through, like we're all going through this. And I do think it's opening it up for us to kind of have conversations about what we're going through and not necessarily just about football. So it's a very different world, but it's unique. And I think we're all just kind of getting through it.
And I think people don't understand that it's not just what happens on game day that's different, because you spend the week preparing for the game. And generally that includes going to the home team and spending a couple days at practice and face-to-face meetings, and none of that is possible. So how do you handle all that now?
We're still able to go to practices with a lot of the teams that I've covered as far as the home team is concerned. And then we just leave early so that we can make sure we get back to wherever we need to be to do the Zooms with the home team. Doing those Zooms and then obviously doing Zooms with the away team as well when they arrive in the town. So for me, the biggest difference that I see is the hour before those guys can't come out for team warm-ups, the 11 to 12 o'clock hour or later in the day if it's a later game. That used to be my busiest time because I would be able to walk around, talk to guys, sit on the ground while they're stretching, kind of get some last-minute nuggets about how their week went or anything that developed over the last couple days. And I'm not getting that now. So you have to be a lot more front-loaded planned and request those guys that you think you might want to talk to or talk about in the game because you're not going to get them on game day.
Is it more difficult to bond with Jonathan Vilma and Kenny Albert during this time? Because there is that chemistry that really goes into a great broadcast. And I don't know, like we spent a lot of time together as a broadcast team in the preseason, just getting to know each other. How's that been?
So that's something I pay a lot of attention to, right? I'm really careful about developing those relationships, whether it be with my broadcast crew or coaches or players or whatever. So I am going to practice. I'm making it coming in and making sure that I go to practice, making sure that if we go and we grab dinner as a group, that I'm definitely going to that because I do think it's really, really important. Jonathan's been great. I've known Kenny for a while. I obviously never worked with him, but seen him at sort of the annual NFL seminars that we have. And I mean, they're pros, right? We've all been doing this for a very long time. And I think that goes a long way in kind of building those relationships as well. But it's been going really well. I had really enjoy working with this crew. I think Jonathan brings such a fresh perspective. This being his first year, I love working with defensive-minded guys. I was with Spielman for many years prior to this, and I just think I love listening to the way that they dissect the game and break it down, especially from the linebacker position, because I do think that they have to see everything on offense and then obviously know what's going on in their defense as well. And I think that he's just really brought a really fresh perspective to it.
Shannon, can we talk about the game? The Eagles and the Steelers. Eagles have underachieved here, 1-2-1, but in first place. Yeah, we'll take it. And the Steelers 3-0. Like, what kind of is your sense of the keys to the game for Sunday?
Well, it's all going to start up front. I mean, that's every game, right? I mean, that defense, the front seven for the Steelers, I mean, they're opportunistic and they're really good. And then there's been a lot of turnover on your line up front. So I think it all starts there. If they can get to the quarterback, and that's the difference maker right there. I'd love to see the run game for you guys. I'm going to try to get Miles Sanders on the phone and try to get some information from him just kind of about this game and what they're looking forward to. And I think for the Steelers, the biggest thing is how do they they sort of react to what they had to go through last week, right? It is certainly disruptive when you're in a rhythm and you believe that this is how it's going to go. And you finally, after all this craziness in the off season, you finally have some sort of rhythm down and you have some sort of schedule down, and then that gets disrupted. So I am interested to see how they kind of push that behind them. But there's going to be fans in the stand this weekend. I think there's going to be a lot of energy. And obviously when you have these two teams going against each other, it's always a battle.
So for you, with the fans in the stands, does that impact you at all, where you can roam your sight lines, the opportunity that you're not actually blocking? Are you going to block people's vision? I mean, how does it change for you with fans in the stands?
I have heard that that's a problem with from one of the other sideline reporters who did say that fans were like, oh, you're kind of in my way, but I stand between the 30 and the 30 and I walk around. I think the only problem for me would be getting to the other side of the field if I do have to walk through rows of fans to do that, right? Because when I was at Ford Field this past weekend, and all you really have to do is walk up to like row 8 or 9 and you can get around. But at Mercedes-Benz, I would have had to walk all the way up to the concourse to get around to the other side. So I've never actually done a game in Pittsburgh before. I don't know what the stands look like in terms of the access from one side to the next. So it'll just be getting there and seeing what I can do.
If I may conclude this with a bit of a personal question.
Yes.
You work in Charlotte. You're a NASCAR studio host 2 nights a week, and you've got twin sons, and you're training for your first full Ironman.
Yes.
So you're a bit of a superhero. How you pulling this off? What's the secret?
You wake up really, really early and drink wine before I go to bed. That's it, right? I think it's, I'm up at about 5 a.m. every morning to get notes done. And if I'm hosting the show, I make sure that I have the show written before my kids get up. Thankfully, they're going to be going back to school full time next week. Right now, they're just in 2 days a week. So I do think that that's going to give me a little bit more mommy time to kind of do some of the things that I need to do. But it's just about managing the time and making sure that you kind of are all in when you're all in on this specific thing. I've got a great support group, and I always say, like, if you want it all, you have to do it all. And so that's kind of the motto that I live by. And so, yeah, that's my motto. And I live by that. So
you go for the gusto.
Thanks. And I'm excited, though, because I run stadium stairs as well. I don't know if I've done like 37 different stadiums during my career, from college football, college basketball, NFL. And obviously, I've never been to Pittsburgh before to do a game. So this will be the first, and I'll run those stadium stairs on Saturday, unless it's raining. So I'm excited to get a new stadium knocked off my list.
That's awesome. Shannon, thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course, anytime.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Don't miss your chance to be in the stands at Lincoln Financial Field this season with an Eagles fan cutout. Put on your game day best and upload a photo of yourself so that you can still join us on game days. Fan cutouts printed by Rico are only $100, with net proceeds benefiting Eagles Autism Foundation. Your purchase will also waive the registration fee for the 2021 Eagles Autism Challenge event. Order yours at PhiladelphiaEagles.com/cutouts.
We now turn toward the fans, as we do on the Tailgate Edition of the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. This time, let's go to Texas and meet South Jersey's own Ron Erdman. So every couple of weeks here, we like to do a feature here on the Eagles Insider Podcast, the Tailgate Edition. We like to find fans who have cool jobs and who love the Eagles in cool ways. And this guy right here loves the Eagles, has a cool job, and yeah, exactly, and loves to enjoy the Eagles in many ways. Ron Erdman, we thank you for joining here on the Eagles Insider Podcast. Tell me about your business. Tell me about why in the heck you love the Philadelphia Eagles so darn much.
Our company is Amtech Solutions. We're a nationwide architectural engineering firm dealing with the exterior building, roofing, waterproofing, consulting. We deal with colleges, universities, United States Navy, federal government, travel all over the world, and we're just huge Eagles fans.
You grew up.
As a matter of fact,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, my director of operations is actually from Scotland, and he is a huge Eagles fan.
Because of you, I imagine, right?
No, even before. We worked at the same place years and years ago, and he was just a huge Eagles fan because he was right out of Washington, D.C., and his buddies were coming up the pike because everybody was from Drexel or Penn State that worked for that company out of that Fairfax, Virginia office, and he just became an Eagles fan.
It's so cool. It's so cool, Ron, because I always, back in the good old days when we were able to travel to games, I would see you, and I always was like, how in the world is Ron coming to all these games? So tell me, when did it all begin for you? You grew up in South Jersey, so obviously bleeding green was in your blood from the very beginning.
Born and bred watching football with my father and my brothers. I mean, that's just what you did on Sunday. You watched football, you watched the Eagles. Hated Cowboys, hated the Giants, hated Washington. It was real easy. And back in the day, you also hated the Cardinals as well, right?
That's
so
exactly
they were in their
right.
division. So, yeah.
How long have you been actually going to games?
God, I've been going to games now probably 45 years, 46 years. I mean, we were little kids going, and as a teenager, we'd actually used to sneak into the vet if we couldn't get tickets and just walk around the ramps so we could watch the games.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where do you live now, and how in the world do you get to games, and how many games do you get to a year? Is there a point like you go, this is before COVID, of course, that you make a point to go to X amount of games every season?
No, it's every home game that we absolutely possibly can, unless I have some business thing that I just can't get up there because we live just outside of Dallas, behind enemy territory down here. So for us, it's not just as easy as hopping on over the Walt Whitman Bridge on Sunday morning with a cooler full of beer. For us, we've got to get our plane tickets, we've got to get hotels, we've got to get transportation, coordinate with all of our friends, and all that good stuff. And then so for us, some of the away games have been easier to get to because it's a shorter flight or whatever it might be, or sometimes like in a nice area like was it last year in Miami, the year before that in New Orleans. You've got LA. We'll go to those spots every single time because the weather is just beautiful, right? So why not travel?
That's interesting. I'm going to back up here. You live outside of Dallas, and I know there's a very good reputation of Eagles fans down there. They all.
Oh, absolutely. It's called the Dallas Eagles Nest. There's probably about 800 of us that go to about 4 or 5 different bars that they made deals with the bars to come in and bring a load of people with them on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursday nights, depending on when the Eagles are playing. So.
And I wonder, Ron, how do Cowboys fans treat Eagles fans in Texas?
It's a mixed bag. I think it's like anywhere else. They see our Eagles gear because a lot of us just wear it around, right? When we're shopping at Walmart or whatever it might be. We either get, boo, you guys suck and all that good stuff. But some people get a little bit over the top with it. And, those people you just try to ignore. But for the most part, everybody down here is just jostling back and forth and having a good time with it, having fun.
I love to hear that. In this 2020 season, of course, we're still hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, praying that there will be Eagles fans at Lincoln Financial Field at some point. We don't know if that's going to happen. But I wonder, Ron, how much do you miss being at an Eagles game? I always like to ask fans this question. How much do you miss it?
I'm starving for it. I mean, for us, we had to actually go get DirecTV just so that we could get the Sunday ticket because we can't watch the games because especially if the Eagles are playing at the same time as the Cowboys down here, it's the Eagles game automatically is blacked out down here. So we can't miss a game, right? So we went out and got that package just so we could go to the game, and we're just dying to be at that stadium with all our friends and family, and not only that, but all the people that we have got to know that work there. Nicole, Ed Bose, the guy head security in our section. I mean, all these people have become our family. They're not just workers. They know us by name. We get them Christmas presents. They get us Christmas presents. I mean, that's just it. It's a huge family. We're starving for it. I don't even know how to put it. Like watching it on TV just stinks. It just stinks. I mean, the crowd, there's no crowd noise. We scream and holler. I mean, every time I would go to a game, I'd lose my voice. I couldn't talk for 3 days. And I know a lot of people are just like that. So we're just dying to be there. Just the smell, the atmosphere, the noise, our friends, the people that work there. I mean, everything from top to bottom,
So when the Eagles come down to Texas, to Arlington to play, will you have an avenue to get into the stadium?
that's what we're trying to figure out right now, because it looks like there's fans actually at the stadium, but trying to get the tickets for the 5,000 fans or 10,000 fans, that's not easy, and those tickets are not going cheap online, right? Because people know that it's a commodity right now, right? I mean, it's supply and demand. So we're hoping that we can at least go over and tailgate like we usually do. We always tailgate before the game, and there's Eagles fans everywhere down here as they travel, obviously from all over the country to come down for this game. So we're just hoping that we can actually go see the Eagles at least once. So we're watching every city. Like, I don't know if you know, was it 2 days ago or yesterday, Pittsburgh announced that they're going to let some fans for the Eagles-Pittsburgh game.
Yes.
So we're just watching for those kinds of things to say, hey, if we've got to hop on a plane, Saturday, but we can grab tickets to an away game, we're going.
So what you're telling me is that fans, and I'm specifying Texas here, they're putting their tickets online to the highest bidder?
Oh, yeah. So if you've got tickets to the game, you can find them online, and they're 5 times, 10 times the actual face value.
How high would you go, Ron?
For that game? Oh, I'd probably go maybe, I don't know, pretty high. I think I'd take my fiance Chloe, and we just rock it. You know what I mean? It's worth it. It's worth every penny.
Is there any consecutive seasons streak on the line for you that you are concerned with, that you absolutely must get to a single game in 2020 to keep a streak alive?
Yes, I have to. I mean, how do you not? I mean, this will be the first year in 40-some years that I haven't gone to at least one game. So, yeah, I don't care if it's an away game, a home game. I'm waiting for Pat Jeffries up there to call me and say, hey, your tickets are available for this weekend. Do you want them? Absolutely. We're coming up. So I got to go to at least one game.
Well, Ron, I hope at some point this season, Pat gives you the phone call and gives you the good news. We're all hopeful of that. In the meantime, we love hearing from all fans around the country, and stories like yours warm my heart, because it's always a pleasure to see you and Chloe on the road, and you guys have such a great attitude about loving the Eagles and enjoy it so much. And after all, that's what it's all about, right?
That's it. Absolutely. Like I said, it's just a big, giant traveling family, if you will, right? We all have the same mission. We want to just see the Eagles just win every game if we can. That's
exactly right. Now, last question. Super Bowl, where were you? How did you enjoy it? How did you celebrate?
Freezing my butt off. What was it? -5, I think it was, that day. Was there with Chloe. We were 40-yard line, 25 rows up, surrounded by Eagles fans. I had one Patriots fan next to me who said it was his first Super Bowl, and I had to afterwards obviously say, I think you picked the wrong one to go to for your first one. And it was just a moment when we've got a picture where, when the confetti went off. I was screaming and hollering because we all took a few seconds for the ball to drop, if you will, and for everybody to look around and go, did this really just happen? And the goosebumps and the screaming and the hollering, and it was just a huge party. It was fantastic.
Ron, that's a beautiful moment to always cherish.
Absolutely. And let's go get another one or another one and another one.
Let's get greedy, man.
That's it.
Hey, Ron, thanks so much for joining the Eagles Insider Podcast.
You got it, Dave. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You take care. Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Of course, the Tailgate Edition is never complete without a word from Mad Money's Jim Cramer. Yeah, Carson Wentz was smiling during our interview. He's been smiling quite a bit lately, and Jim has noticed.
I'm Jim Cramer, and welcome to my world.
You need to get in the game.
Firms are going to go out of business, and he's nuts. They're nuts. They know nothing.
I always like to say there's a bull market somewhere, and I promise
Mad money. You can't afford to miss it. Hey, I'm Cramer.
I watched the games with my wife, Lisa. Here's what she said to me. She goes, he's smiling. He's smiling. He's smiling the way he used to. Yes, I'm talking about Wentz. And when I see that smile, I say, look out, Steelers. When the Eagles are playing for pride, when everyone's written them off, when a whole city that is so fickle has decided that they're all just a bunch of losers, There's nothing like playing with a smile on your face saying, you know what, I got nothing to lose. And how about these new guys? I loved it when Merle said, boom, don't forget, that's a name you got to remember. I love Googling guys who do pick sixes and say that guy is coming back. Do I know that Old Dominion even has a football program for a great wide receiver? No. This is all happening. It's happening right now, and no one believes. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of people just say, you know what, they're up against the Steelers. The Steelers' defense is so unbelievable. It's just going to be another one that shows you that was one and done against the Niners. Well, I got to tell you something. Here's what I look at. As long as I see that smile on Wentz's face, it's 2017. It's so much fun. I cannot wait till Sunday.
And that will do it for this episode of the Eagles Insider Podcast, Tailgate Edition, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Insider Dave Spadaro with you. Reminder that the game begins at 1 o'clock. Our coverage on Sunday begins at 12:15. Our kickoff show on PhiladelphiaEagles.com and all of our digital platforms, presented by Exalta, starts at 12:15. And then our postgame show presented by Rico immediately after the game from Heinz Field. Thanks to Peter Kelly, Trevor Hayes, and Ray Doyle for all of their work here. Thanks to all of you for joining. If you have a moment to give us a little review there, we appreciate it very much. I'm Insider Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have yourselves a great Eagles day, and fly, Eagles, fly. A big one on Sunday in Pittsburgh.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
We want you to know about all the podcasts in the Eagles network of podcasts. So make sure you tune in to not only this Eagles Insider podcast 3 times a week, but make sure you subscribe and listen to the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, our Journey to the Draft podcast Tuesday and Thursday, and our Eagles Update podcasts, which give you the news in a flash, Monday through Saturday throughout this 2020 season. Sign up, subscribe, and listen to our Eagles network of podcasts.